You got people out there saying that repossession is a form of stalking and theft and criminal activity when it comes to your vehicle. And that is the farthest thing from the truth. You are being lied to by those people that are saying that. Look right here, CJS. Duty to read or learn contents of contract before signing it. The majority of the people never read their contracts. They just sign the highlighted spots because why? They want their widget. One of the, in this example, the car. One is under a duty to read or learn the contents of a written contract before signing it, and if, in the absence of fraud, duress, or undue influence, and the like, the person fails to do so, the person is presumed to know the contents, signs at his or her peril, suffers the consequences of his or her negligence, and is stopped to deny his or her obligation under the contract. And you're probably sitting there thinking, well, what's this got to do with repossession? Well, I'm getting ready to show you because why? You signed the purchase agreement, the retail installment agreement with the dealership, giving the financial institution or the dealership permission to repossess that vehicle. You can't say it's illegal when you consented and said, please take it back. Now, I called the local Honda and tried to get a copy that they have, okay, but they wouldn't give it to me because they said it's the bank that does the repossession. That's irrelevant because you don't read the back of the contract. Everybody's familiar with this front portion. This is a sample, and this is pretty much what is there. I've seen enough of them to know. Okay, and I know y'all seen them too. You recognize this. This is your application where it talks about in 12 USC 412. This is your application on page 1. Here's your ledger statement, your itemized accounting ledger that me and Mark over at Stratliff Pier talks about in the accounting class. And the promissory note or the collateral security has to be attached to the application. And it is, because now we're getting into the promissory note part. But if you look down here at the bottom of page 4, repossession of the vehicle. If you default, this is typically on the back of the contract. And in contract law, you need to read the front and the back. Repossession of the vehicle. If you default, and after we provide any notice and right to cure, if required by applicable law, we may repossess the vehicle from you if we do so without breaching the peace. So that what? They can't breach the peace when they're doing it. They can hire any company to be their agent to repossess the vehicle, as long as they don't breach the peace. If any personal items are in a vehicle, we can store them for you. We will give you written notice at your last address shown on our records after we discover that we have your personal items. If you do not ask for these items after we mail or deliver the notice to you, we may dispose of them as allowed by applicable law. Any accessory equipment or replacement parts stays with the vehicle. You gave them permission. You cannot say that it is a criminal act. Now, if they break into your house, say the garage, if they break in, then yes, they breach the peace. The car has to be in the public. And in the public means in your driveway, in the street, at your job, in the parking lot. But you cannot say they're committing a crime in most situations when you sign a contract giving them permission to take it back. And how they take it back outside of breaching a peace is completely legal. It is not stalking. It is not any of this stuff. That's why I say stop listening to these idiots.